Right, so good morning, everybody. This is a Facebook Live on. I really just wanted to kind of start at the beginning, really, and have a live where we discussed if you can do your own tax return and how you do it, okay, and what you need in essence. So really, I'm starting right at the beginning. So this is for people probably that may have just started their teaching careers. They might be going out and going around to different dance schools and now are wondering how they sort of sign up with Revenue and Customs and what they need. So if you have any questions at any point, just let me know, okay? To be fair, I feel like this will be relevant also to people that do their own tax returns, because I feel like although if you're a very small business, okay, you will be able to fill out your own tax return because it will just be income and expenses. But there is so much more to it than that, okay? But that is something I will obviously talk about in a second. So let me take a sip of tea. Like I said, if you ever have any questions, just let me know. So let's start with what we initially need to set ourselves up as self-employed, okay? So like I said, starting right at the beginning. So if you've just started your teaching career, or even if you haven't, even if you've been teaching for years, but you might have been employed, you might be now going to self-employed, okay, this is relevant to a lot of people. So what you will need to do is, if you are sending invoices over to dance schools and getting income from those invoices, okay, or if you've even just started your own dance school, you might have completely started your dance school from scratch. You will need to sign up for self-employment, okay, with Revenue and Customs. We do say it's within like the first 3 months of trading, okay? So as long as you've signed up, if you know it's something you're going to keep doing, sign up. So there's no point in leaving it. You might as well just sign up straight away. So you would just go onto the Revenue and Customs website and you will Google register for self-assessment, and there's just a form to fill in. It asks you for your just normal details, name, address, what you're going to be doing, all of those sorts of things. Also, it asks for a trading date as well. Excuse me. And then you just send that form off, and then from there, in about, I want to say 6 to 8 weeks, but Revenue and Customs is a bit all over the place at the moment, you'll then get a letter back from them with your UTR number, okay? Always keep your UTR number somewhere safe. The amount of people that have no idea what their UTR numbers is crazy, but yeah, keep that number somewhere really safe, because we need that as accountants. We need that, and if you're going to do your own tax return, you're going to need that as well in order to submit your return. Okay, you can't submit your return without it, so keep that safe. It's a number, okay, and it's 10 numbers long, okay? So always keep that somewhere safe. Know that. I was going to say know it off by heart, but I don't even know my one off by heart. So yeah, so that's really like the beginning stage. If you know that it's something that you're going to keep doing, you're going to, yeah, you want to grow your dance school, all of that sort of thing, or if you're going to keep teaching for someone, then do sign up for self-assessment straight away. Like I said, there's no point in waiting. And you have to start keeping a record of all of the income that you're getting from the moment you start trading. Like I just said, Revenue and Customs will ask you what the start of your trading date was. So so anything from then on, they will want to know what you've received as income, okay, and expenses. So the next question is, can I do my own tax return? I'm just going to have a cup of tea before I answer this question. Not a whole cup of tea, just a sip. I did realise this morning as well, I did my, well, you probably can't tell, I've done my hair, but I have been dancing this morning, and I always hairspray my hair down. And I went and looked in the mirror and I was like, oh, it looks okay. And then I turned around and I was looking at Zoom and it was all hanging out the back. I was like, oh my God, I need to sort that out before I go live. So can I fill out my own tax return form? The answer, I would say, is yes. If you are a small school, then yes, I think that is absolutely fine. Or unless you have some form of accounting background as well. Okay. It can be as easy, I know on Revenue and Customs website, it can be as easy as what are your income and what are your expenses, or what is your income? That was very bad English. Yeah, so what is your income and what are your expenses? So they do it on like a cash in and cash out basis, okay? So that is as simple as it gets. And I think that is absolutely fine for, like I said, a small school that doesn't really have a lot going on, okay? What I kind of want to touch on is, because I've had quite a lot of questions recently about things like cars, bank loans, obviously the bounce back loans a lot of people have had as well. These are the things that people don't know where to put on their tax return. And I feel like this is the stage where it starts getting a little bit more complicated. And from my point of view, I'm not selling my services or anything like that, but from my point of view and from an accountant's point of view, things start to get categorized slightly differently. I don't want to make it sound really complicated because I don't want to overcomplicate it for you guys, but I kind of need you to know where we come from as accountants as well. So, I think the thing is, if it starts getting to a point where you're like, I don't understand what Sam is saying, I think then that is where you should draw the line and get an accountant to look at it, okay? Because we obviously, when we do all of our exams and all that stuff to become accountants, we have principles and there's lots of different sort of rules that we have to abide by as accountants. And that also, not only is that from like a legal point of view, but it's also to do with numbers and the way that numbers are allocated and sort of worked out for that year. And like I said, I don't want to overcomplicate it for you, but once you're past that point of just having income and just having expenses, that's where I feel like you should be getting someone, just even if it's just to have a look over. So I'm going to give you an example. So someone recently asked me, they bought a car and they got a bank loan for it. And she said to me, I don't know where to put the bank loan on my accounts. Okay. So I said to her, well, and to be fair, I'm not, because I don't really use the Revenue and Customs website, but I know it's overcomplicated anyway. But the way that we work it, bank loans don't go on to your income and expenses, okay? They're not an income, yeah, because you're going to be paying it back at some point. They go on to something called the balance sheet, okay? And this is where it starts getting a little bit more complicated. Even though it's just one extra thing, would you guys know where to put that bank loan, or would you include it as an expense? Do you get where I'm coming from? It does start getting a little bit more complicated. So I said to her, it goes onto your balance sheet, okay? And you can only actually claim back the interest on the bank loan. So the interest can go on your income and expenses, but the repayments don't. So do you guys kind of see where I'm coming from? Once it starts getting to that stage of not just being income and expenses, there's so much more to it. And like I said, we have so many rules to abide by as accountants, and you have like cut-off dates of when things should be allocated, bits and pieces like that. So it just, yeah. So once it gets to that stage of not just being income and expenses, I do kind of feel like you should be talking to an accountant, even if it's just to look over. Like I said, some of you might have accounts backgrounds. I know some of you do. So you guys will probably be okay, but a lot of people wouldn't know what to do with a bank loan, for instance. I'm just going to stop and check and see if anyone's got any questions, because I don't want to overload you with information, although I probably have already done that. Let me just have a check. I have got it on my here. No, you guys are all good. Yeah, let me know if you've got any questions at any point. I think we're all okay at the moment. Brilliant. So, no, that's all fine. Yeah, so this wasn't going to be a very long live, if I'm honest, but I did just kind of, and I know a lot of you are probably going to watch this back later. So I'm just going to kind of summarize what I've just told you. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, if you're new if you're new to self-employment, go on to Revenue and Customs and register for self-employment straight away, okay? Like I said, I don't see any point in waiting. If you need any help with anything like that, do just let me know, and that is a service that I do offer. But like I said, it is just a form to fill out. So it's literally your name and address, when you started trading and what you're doing. Okay, that's basically all it is. And then, can I fill out my own tax return? Oh, I haven't gone over what you need. Let me go over that as well. So yeah, can I fill out my own tax return? And I would say yes, if you're a really small school with not a lot going on. But once you start getting a little bit more, I say bigger, with more things going on, like, let me give you a few examples. Like I said, like the bank loans. I think car leasing is a big one. People never know what to do with car leasing. And again, we have rules in place with with how to handle car leases, depending on what they are. As accountants, I'm trying to think what else there might be. If people owe you money, that has to be dealt with in a separate way. If you owe people money, that's dealt with separately. Then if you start getting assets as well, I'm trying to think at what kind of assets you guys might have, but I'm thinking like stereos. I know people don't really have like the big stereos anymore, but if you've got studios and bits and pieces like that, they have to go in as assets. And all of the things that I'm listing go onto a different sheet, okay, called the balance sheet, which again, like I said earlier, if you're not sure what I'm going on about, which is probably highly likely, because I probably made it super complicated, that's the point, that you need someone to help you, okay? I would much rather, I know that it's an expense, okay? I know that it is, but it's something that I feel is really important for you guys to do, so that you know your accounts and your tax return is definitely right, okay? I see it as an investment. Please do see it as an investment, and just know that if you are giving that to someone else to have a look at, an accountant, not just anyone random, that it will be done properly, okay? So yeah, that is really important, so to get those accounts right. And then finally, what do I need if I'm going to do my own tax return? So this is also another big question. So we kind of work it slightly differently now. So we go with bank statements first, okay? We used to get a lot of paperwork in, so a lot of income, a lot of expenses. And people used to have so much paperwork. They used to literally bring it in bags and shoe boxes and all that sort of stuff. And it kind of, it's not necessary. I don't know, other accountants might work slightly differently, but this is how we work. So we always ask for bank statements first. So open a separate bank account. It doesn't have to be a business bank account if you're small, okay? Just open another, you can open another personal bank account, but please have a separate bank account for your self-employment, please. just makes life so much easier, because otherwise we have to trawl through. We've had a couple in the past couple of weeks where you've got personal expenses and business expenses and in one account, and you just have to kind of work out what's what. Luckily, if I look at stuff like that, I can sort of spot what is personal and what isn't. And then we do always ask the clients as well, but just to make life so much easier, just open another bank account. Like I said, for you guys, if you're just a small business, it doesn't have to be a business account. Just open another personal one and just keep everything going through there. Okay, all of your money in, all of your money out. So we ask for bank statements first, and then what I usually do is go through all the bank statements. We pop it all onto all of our stuff goes onto Xero now, and again, you guys might have spreadsheets. Some of you guys do your own spreadsheets as well. And I have recently, if you look at all of my posts on this group, you'll see that a lot of people ask me for a spreadsheet, which I've sent over to a lot of people. So you can use that as well to record your income and expenses. If you need that spreadsheet, do let me know. Just pop your email in the comments below. Yes, so it'll be bank statement. Well, I do tend to ask for bank statements as well as a spreadsheet, just so that you know that everything's been included. Then from there, keep everything that is business related, all of your business related paperwork. So you guys will keep that, okay? You need to keep all of your receipts. So things like, I'm trying to think what you might purchase, stuff like hall hire, they should send invoices over. All your membership fees, all bits and pieces like that. I've got a separate video on expenses, okay? So do have a look at my YouTube page for that. But if there's paperwork for it, keep it, okay? So just in case, because like I said, the way that I work is I'll go through the bank statements, or I'll go through your spreadsheets or bits and pieces like that, and I pick out invoices that I want to see or expenses that I want to see, okay? And then people send them over. So in other words, keep everything that is business related, okay? You will have lots of piles of paperwork probably everywhere, and you have to keep it for 6 years as well. So just keep everything that you've got for 6 years. I know it's a long time, but once that 6 years is done, then you can get rid of that first year, if that makes sense, and replace it with the most current year. Yeah, so I think that's probably everything that I wanted to go over with you guys. Like I said, there's a separate YouTube video on expenses, so do have a look through that as well. That's always such a huge area of people being like, I don't really know what I can put through, so do have a look at that one too. Let me just check if there's any questions. I've spoken for quite a long time. Let me know if there's anything that you guys. Oh, I've got one comment. Oh my god, I'm so rubbish with this. Oh, there you go. Yes, Claire, I will send you over that spreadsheet. That's absolutely fine. Yeah, if you've got any questions, guys, do just let me know. But hopefully, oh, I did have one question actually. Let me just cover that while I'm here. I had one question on the group yesterday about someone's daughter. Let me just say that I know that I've covered that. I'm not going to be able to find it now, am I? Oh dear. Dun, 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 dun. There it is. Right, yeah, see, this is a good question too. Thank you guys for just holding while I just check this one. My daughter attends college, but at weekends is self-employed by a company for princess parties. She doesn't earn that much, but am I right in thinking she still needs to fill out a tax return? The answer to that question is yes, she does need to fill out a tax return if she earns over £1,000 in the year. Okay. So yeah, if she's earning over that £1,000, I don't know if she has any other jobs. She probably doesn't if she's at college full time as well. But if she had another job, you would work out how much income she makes altogether. So yeah, if she earns over £1,000 in the entire year, financial year, from April to April, then she will need to fill out a tax return. Yes. Yes. The other question that I have had is about children as well, which I probably shouldn't cover here because I wanted this to be a oh no, what am I doing? I'm trying to share my screen. Yeah, perhaps I won't cover that here. Perhaps very quickly, I will just say, if you do have children under 12,500, because there's a lot of like I would say like performing children, but that sounds really bad, but you guys know what I mean, don't you? Yeah, so if you've got a child that's a performer and they receive money, if they earn under 12,500, then they don't have to register because they're under their personal allowance. If they earn over that 12,500, they do. Okay, they have to register with Revenue and Customs. So yeah, I think that's all that I'll touch on, because that's a completely new subject. But I just wanted to do that as well. So yeah, hopefully you guys are all okay. Hopefully that made sense. If there's any questions that you guys have ever got, pop them into the group and just let me know. If there's anything afterwards and you think to yourself, oh, I wish I'd have asked that, just pop it on the in the comments below, and I'll be checking, obviously, we check in the group all the time. So yeah, so I hope that's okay, guys. And I hope you have a lovely day. And it wasn't too bad, 25 minutes. Hope you have a great day, and I will see you very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.